Still got James's weird aperture baggy thing.
Okay, today's drug is Drostanolone Enanthanate, or Masteron Enth, Masti, whatever you want to call it. It is a DHT, dihydrotestosterone based drug, and as a result it has an anabolic to androgenic ratio of, it's a sliding scale, so it's 62 to 130 anabolic and 25 to 40 androgenic. So as you can see, it's quite mild, especially in its androgen. Now its half-life is 10.5 days, however its terminal half-life is 4.5. So as we've gone through before, once you reach stable blood plasma, your body will upcycle metabolizing of this drug and its half-life will reduce to 4.5. Detection time is around 3 months. Doses vary, generally sort of 400 mg upwards. Females can use it, but you're looking around the 50 mg mark. It has anti-estrogenic properties, so it will reduce estrogen. However, this is worth bearing in mind if you are running it on its own or running it with a very, very low dose of test, because it may reduce estrogen to such a point that you actually restrict growth. So bear that in mind when you run Masteron, that it is anti-estrogenic and you'll need to adjust your estrogen management controls accordingly. Otherwise, you might find that you reduce estrogen too low, and then you'll start getting issues with low estrogen, including chronic fatigue, low GH, low IGF-1, low recovery and growth. Obviously no water retention because it's DHT and it doesn't convert. It's generally it's quite often used within dieting because of the fact that it doesn't convert, and therefore you get little water retention, or you get no water retention based off this drug itself. And obviously its most common probably blend version would be 1-RIP, where there is tranase test prop and master prop. Now at very low doses, sort of sub 100 milligram, it has hardly any effect on your HPTA axis. So, but if your system is always shut down from using other anabolics, don't think that you can drop onto just MAST and your system will recover. No. Once shut down, you are shut down. Obviously, you will recover in time, but it is still slightly suppressive. And if you are already shut down, you're not going to recover while running MAST in the background. Generally classed as very mild and generally classed as low yield gains, but dry gains. You do not need low body fat levels for this stuff to be effective, but because its gains are not dramatic and because there is no water retention, generally speaking, you're not going to see big changes in your physique. Now the leaner you are, obviously the changes that are subtle are going to be more obvious. It does have an effect on lipids like all steroids, but as this is at the mild end of things, lipid issues are going to be a lot lower. It's not regarded as having any impact on the liver or again any impact on the kidneys, but remember we've said in the past that use of diuretics, dehydration, high blood pressure will all affect the kidneys. It is suppressive at using doses, so effectively we're not going to use this stuff pretty much less than 400 mg at that dose. It will be suppressive. More commonly, it's used at around 600 mg, so it will be suppressive. It will require a PCT of some nature, but you're not going to have to be overly aggressive with this stuff. And that is it. So, that's it. Mild drug, anti-estrogenic properties, low toxicity, reduces estrogen levels, and that's probably the biggest thing you need to be watching for with this stuff, is that you don't get estrogen levels too low and then start restricting growth and causing lipid damage. Don't need to be lean to use, but obviously gains, because it is such a mild drug, are going to be more noticeable if you are already lean. You're not going to get water retention, you're not going to get big bloat and fullness off this stuff. So if you're carrying high percentage of body fat, the changes will be less noticeable. And under 100 milligram, it is pretty much non-suppressive. But why you would run it at 100 milligrams is beyond me. I can't see really much use for it at that level. Okay, so that's it. So next week we will do the propionate version. It's going to be effectively the same, but at least it means that these videos can stand alone. Thank you very much.